Sup Snakes, are we so back when it comes to Fallout TV show information? I think we might be, because Johnny Pemberton posted this photo today and it is sparking a lot of speculation. Everything from, is this even for the Fallout TV show? Is he becoming a ghoul or a super mutant? What are the prosthetics even for? And is that Malcolm McDowell, aka John Henry Eden, the president in Fallout 3? That remains to be seen. So in this video, I will discuss all of that speculation, and I'm really excited, so let's get into it. Hi, I'm Nikki. I make maps, memes, and everything in between around Fallout, so if you like that kind of thing, drop a sub and check me out everywhere. So Johnny Pemberton posted this photo today of him clearly getting fitted for prosthetics, not only on his hands, as you can see in the photo, they're making a mold, but on his head. His hair is slicked back. It's clear they've taken a mold of his head and face. Also, we see a lot of molds of faces and heads in the background. I'm very curious what these molds are for. A lot of people think that yes, it is a ghoul as established at the end of season 1 of the Fallout show.
I think you might be a ghoul.
Oh no.
Would make sense. That's what everybody in the show thinks he's becoming, because he took that mystery serum that we don't fully understand or know quite yet. This is also the serum that seems to prevent ghouls from turning into feral ghouls, which is a new addition of the Fallout show, not something we've previously seen. Typically, ghouls are made through exposure to radiation in the Fallout universe. Is this a change from the norm in the Fallout show? I think it would be if this is how they're making him into a ghoul, although there is not zero precedent for it. But I also speculate that he could be becoming a super mutant and just not know it yet. The Brotherhood of Steel equally hates super mutants as they do ghouls, so it wouldn't be the most illogical thing to see. And I also specifically have questions around the hand prosthetics. Why do they need prosthetics of the hand for a ghoul? That seems like something that can be done with makeup. As for Cooper, we don't see a lot of his hands. He kind of wears gloves through the series. But part of me also thinks that because we saw super mutants very briefly in the first season of the show, maybe we'll see them again specifically through Thaddeus's character. Thaddeus is a compelling character because he's very loyal to the Brotherhood of Steel, and him turning into either a mutant or a ghoul would be compelling either way. Clearly, he's going to turn into something, and we've already seen that process beginning in season 1 at the very end when he doesn't really get harmed by the arrow that goes through his neck. I'm curious, too, why Random Chicken Lover would have this serum that makes you immune to being damaged and supposedly makes you into a ghoul, maybe a super mutant.
I'm a doctor, I can help you.
Could he be some kind of deranged scientist who got exposed to way too much, or maybe even a patient at that where they were testing out stuff at the Enclave facility where we see these large stretchers that are clearly super mutant sized, and we saw that brief super mutant hand in that one scene? Yeah, maybe he is from some kind of escaped person or potentially an ex-Enclave employee who just, due to too much exposure to God knows what, kind of, became a chicken lover. But why does he even have that serum is a huge question that remains unanswered from the show, and I think obviously season 2 is going to answer it. But part of me thinks it might be the FEV. Maybe the serum is some kind of modified version of the FEV all along, and maybe they need it to not become feral because after a certain point, everyone becomes feral. It's a lot of questions that were left unanswered, both in the games and in the show, that season 2 looks like it's gearing up to answer. What do you think, though? Do you think Thaddeus is becoming a ghoul or a super mutant? I personally am leaning towards super mutant. Now, of course, the thing that we see in the background is molds of a lot of people's faces. I'm imagining they're other cast members of the show who are just getting scans for pre-production so they can build prosthetics or whatever else they need. I would imagine all of these people are potentially either ghouls or super mutants, whatever faction this is that has a lot of these where they need the scans. I don't really know if they would need scans of like Ella Purnell's head or Aaron Moten's head because they're not becoming ghouls or super mutants. Maybe they just like to have scans of everyone's head, though, for costuming. Who knows? My question is this Malcolm McDowell we see in the upper right-hand portion of the photo? A lot of people seem to think so, and if you were to Google Malcolm McDowell, 2024, you would see that he wears frames that are decidedly similar to this photo. We don't have confirmation yet that Malcolm McDowell is set to be in the show, but a lot of people seem to think that this photo is Malcolm McDowell. So what's the importance of Malcolm McDowell? Well, if you're a Clockwork Orange fan, maybe that's the importance to you. But if you're a Fallout fan, you know that Malcolm McDowell played the voice of the AI president, John Henry Eden, in Fallout 3. And the FEV and John Henry Eden kind of go hand in hand. If you know the plot of Fallout 3, it's super important. Editor Nikki here. I did want to add a caveat before we get in this section that yes, John Henry Eden is an AI who is not established in Fallout 3 as being based off of a real person other than the stuff that was used to train his AI model. And he was a maintenance system for Raven Rock that took over after the previous Enclave president was gone. So I'm very aware of that and the lore of John Henry Eden. However, what I'm saying for this section is maybe the Fallout TV show is going to establish John Henry Eden as a real person in the same way that they did for the Mr. Handy robots, having a voice actor who played the Mr. Handys. So in this section, just assume that potentially the Fallout TV show is establishing a character that either lended his voice to John Henry Eden or was potentially the inspiration that we don't already know about from the information we get in Fallout 3 that we will learn in the Fallout TV show. Does this come with some minor retcons? Absolutely, potentially. Is this still a kind of crazy speculative theory? 100%. But I did want to add this caveat because I think it is important for this conversation, and I just forgot to mention it when I initially recorded, and I don't want my comments to go wild. It's all about suspending your disbelief, right? So let's get into this section. And a lot of people are speculating, yes, this is John Henry Eden, and maybe we're going to get to see finally the human version of John Henry Eden in this next season of the Fallout show, perhaps in flashback sequences, or perhaps in the future. The reason I'm more inclined to think we're going to get a little bit of both is, again, they seem to have a scan right next to that photo of him, of his head, which would indicate to me that maybe they need prosthetics for him as well. Again, I don't really see other characters that don't need prosthetics getting this high quality scan. But maybe he does. If this is John Henry Eden, that's a huge reveal that this photo and some background detectives like myself and others who have commented on my posts about this are finding out. And I think a lot of what the Fallout show does is have this kind of marketing where creators like me, and people like you are excited to consume leaks, and they allow some stuff to get out intentionally. We had wild speculations leading up to season 1 that 80% of ended up not being true, and I'm sure they loved it. It was free marketing for them, but I can't help it, guys. I'm really excited. Is this John Henry Eden? Did they just throw this photo in the background to throw us off and mess with us Fallout 3 fans? Because if so, that's mean. I honestly do think it is John Henry Eden, and there's an extra bit of speculation around it being John Henry Eden. Did John Henry Eden get injected with the FEV? That is a question we're having, and honestly, I'm inclined to say maybe. Maybe. Why? Because again, they have a scan of his head, and unless they're building prosthetics for said scan, I don't know why else they would need the prosthetics, and they probably took a mold of him as well. So that's the speculation. Is this John Henry Eden? It feels like the scan almost has something built on it, but it may be just it's so pixelated and compressed in the background, it's just hard to see in this photo. It's an Instagram photo I took a screenshot of, so you get what you get. I think it'll be interesting. Now, of course, we have seen super mutants become super mutants and also get healed from becoming super mutants. Specifically in Fallout 4 with Virgil is a great example of this, who you can give a cure to and come back later, and Virgil is no longer a super mutant. Maybe John Henry Eden is on the hunt for the chicken lover's serum that he has that maybe is a modified version of the FEV, so he can no longer be a super mutant. Yes. Am I speculating wildly? 100%. 1000%. Yes, I am. Am I really excited that we're getting this kind of information about the Fallout show already, which they just told us they were in pre-production. I figured they were just writing. I'm sure they had ideas they want to go down, and they already know what Johnny Pemberton's character is going to be. But we're in production, guys. It seems definitive. I don't want to say that it's 100% chance, but the fact that it's Johnny Pemberton, and other than his stand-up, that seems like his main focus right now, And the fact that we're looking at a potential Malcolm McDowell in the background of this photo makes me think that, yes, this photo is around Fallout. Yes, they're in production. Yeah, Walton Goggins and the other people on the show seem to be like doing other things, but maybe they're just getting certain characters ready for full-blown production coming soon. They did film in December in years past, so it wouldn't be out of the question. We saw snow in that one scene. Yeah, that's because they were filming on the East Coast. Now they're going to be filming in California, which is my neck of the woods, so I will be keeping an eye out. I have a lot of people who are in the industry and who get casting calls, so from code names, we might be able to figure out if it's happening. I also did meet a medic at an event I went to last year earlier this year, who told me he was trying to get hired as a medic on the Fallout show. He was a medic for an event I went to, and medics work events, shows, like cooking shows too, and everything in between. So shout out to you. I know you followed me at that event. Hope you're watching. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you excited about this development? What do you think is going on with both Malcolm McDowell, maybe? Johnny Pemberton, is he a ghoul? Is he a super mutant? What's going on with Malcolm McDowell? Is this even for Fallout? I think the chances are quite high there. But let me know. Chances are you're not subscribing either. So drop a subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Speculation is back, baby. But also I'm going to be doing maps. Stay safe in the wasteland. Peace.